Well, it finally happened. We got our first product sent to us, and we're going to review it right now. What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Dre, aka Crazy One, here with another product review. Now, let me get this out the way. We have kind of got to the next step of our YouTube career where we're getting people sending stuff to us, and we are grateful and thankful. So I want to thank GVM for sending us this light to test out and to tell you guys about. And I want to throw in that in no way, shape, or form do they influence our review. So I'm going to tell you what I think about this, and I'm going to tell you what I think about this light honestly. That being said, we're going to get into it. So GVM, great video maker, sent us this P80S light. This light is a COB style light that is kind of meant to be, I want like your budget aperture 120D or something like that. It comes in, it's an 80 watt light, means it comes under 40 watts under what a 120D would output. It comes in at 56K, which means it's daylight balanced, and it has a CRI of 97. So it means it's pretty bright and kind of good. Out of, I think the index goes to 100. So out of 100, it comes in at a 97 CRI. So that's a pretty good stat for it too. Now this thing does have a 120-degree angle beam, which means it's gonna give you some widespread input. So if I was to turn this thing on, all right, and you'll see it's about 4 feet away, all right, you'll see the output that it's giving right there. Those are pretty much the technical specs that you need to know, other than the fact that it comes in at 2 pounds, and we're gonna get into the pros and cons right now. So let's go into build quality. Build quality is one of the reasons why I am really skeptical about this light. Now, this thing is all plastic. When I say all plastic, I mean the handles and the knobs are plastic, the grip is plastic, the body is plastic, all up until you get to the front of this thing where it starts to become a little bit more of a durable plastic into metal. Now, the LED chip is the same kind that you would see in an aperture light, one of the COB lights, or even like a Godox or other big branded lights. You see this chip in there. So it does have that going for them. And again, it does give a decent amount of output, but it's only 80 watts. So you have to keep that in mind when you start modifying it. Speaking of modifying, it does have a Bowen S mount. So you can mount about anything that you want to this thing that has the Bowen's mount. I have a Fresnel here from Aperture. Just sit here and lock it in just like that, and boom, you have your looking light right off the rip. Now I can open up the barn doors. Now keep in mind, if you're using something like this is kind of like the mold that I would use this in, because with this particular Fresnel, it doubles the output of the light. So instead of an 80 watt light, you'll be getting a 160 watt light output, all right? So if I turn this thing on, let's swing it this way. All right, so if I turn this thing on, all right, now you see that the beam angle, because of the Fresnel, has dramatically reduced, but the output has doubled. All right, so you can see that. So what I would do is, if I were to light in production, the first thing that I would do, or the main purpose that I would use this for, is a backlight. So I would hang it up probably somewhere up there where this one is and shine it down. That way I can take one of my heavier lights and I can use it for something else like a key or fill. That being said, if I take this attachment off, and let's just say I want to go the softbox route, so I can go ahead and grab this softbox that I have right here, mount that on, and I have a messed up grid. Mount your stuff properly, folks, so you don't mess up your grids. Okay, so anyway, now I have a dish up here, a softbox with a grid. Now, if I turn this one on, let's swing it back this way. Now you're not really gonna see the output except for with the halo effect it gives because of the softbox, but if I swung it over and put it towards me, you'll see the kind of the light it gives. It's a nice soft light, but again, we're talking about an 80-watt light, so it wasn't really harsh to begin with, and this thing is already up at 100%. So you'll see that this close to me, it is giving me just about the same effect, a little bit brighter than what my actual key light is giving me. So when you look at that, you'll see that it, is not necessarily going to be used for a key light unless you have no other choice. Which then brings me to my next point. Who is this light for? Well, being that I am a person who, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not going to try to sell you something that I shouldn't be selling you. This light is not for your upper level independent or professional filmmakers, all right? If you're starting off with your YouTube channel, or if you're starting off filmmaking and you don't have the big budget, aperture lights can run anywhere between $800 to $1,000 for one light, no attachment. Let's just do the math real quick. You have an $800, my 120D was like $800. And then the attachment that goes to it was about another $120. So you're talking about $1,000 for that one particular system. See, if you don't have that kind of money to spend, but you need something that kind of looks like it or that kind of almost acts like it, then you would try to go for this GVM P80S. Now, what I don't like about it is the fact that it is plastic, all right? Being that it's plastic, it's something that I probably would not lug around with me if I'm doing production shoots. So if I'm going from shoot to shoot, or if I'm constantly packing up and setting up and breaking down and going back home and stuff like that, I don't think I would bring this light with me. This probably would live in my studio as the backlight. And the reason being, because it is plastic, I am afraid that I might drop it, or accidents do happen on set. I don't want to mess around and have a light that may be essential, because if I put it in my kit to travel with, that means I'm calling it an essential tool, and I don't need an essential tool actually falling and breaking or cracking, exposing the electronics or any of that type of stuff. So I am a little bit leery about that. It comes in at 120 bucks. So, I mean, it's not like you can't go ahead and buy another one. It's fairly cheap. It's not necessarily a cheap light, but again, I would cost this for beginners. The other thing that I really don't like about it is that there are a lack of controls. Now, with my apertures, I have a remote control and I have settings. So if I want to lower the output, I can do it, and I can see exactly where I'm doing it, but I can do it from a distance. So for instance, you can't see the lights that are lighting me right now, but I have one aperture 120D up here that is lighting me as my key, and I have another one that's lighting me as my backlight. If I needed to, I can use my remote control and I can dim the lights, or I can brighten the lights as necessary without having to lower the C-stand or get on a ladder and climb up where the light is and fix the output. With this one, there is a knob that's right here that has a negative and positive, or a minus and plus, and you literally just turn it on like you would a normal electronic device, and there you go. Now you can go from just where you are now with the light just being on into having it full blown at 100%, but there are no markers that are telling you how far you're going. Now, that right there is enough for any professional to say, I think I'm gonna pass on that light. However, that is enough for somebody who is just starting off in their filmmaking career, or just starting off in their YouTube career, to say, well, I can make it brighter or dimmer, until they learn the specifics of why you need to know that I have my light set to 37% or to 67% or something of that nature. you need to have those values so that when you're doing a certain shoot, you can go back to those values and say, well, we had this light on this modifier at this percentage, and you can dial it in right there, accurate and everything like that. You can't really do that with this, so it's kind of just turn it and whatever feels right, that's what you're going with. That is a huge negative when it comes down to this light, and I think at the very least, GVM, I know you guys are listening, at the very least, give us some sort of indicator on where this is percentage-wise, at least so when people are using this, they can say, when I was in this setting, I had it at 68%, and they can go ahead and they can dial it into 68%. The other GVM lights that I have, they have an LED panel with a brightness and all that kind of stuff that you can really tell what percentage that you're in, what color temperatures that you are. This doesn't change color temperatures. However, it still would help to have some sort of indicator of what percentage that I am on. Because right now what I would have to do if I were to mark this thing is to mark off where I want to stop or what light, where the light felt right and place a marker there, but that doesn't always work for every time. So then I would end up placing 1,000 markers on this thing and not realizing what marker was for what. So that is something that we really need. If we're gonna improve on this light, that I would say that we need to improve on. It's not a bad light, but it's not a light that I would recommend to anybody who's doing serious filmmaking. So if you want to gift this to, maybe you have somebody, a younger person that is trying to break into YouTube or even gaming, all right? If they don't want to spend a lot of money on lights and they're a gamer, they're like to stream on Twitch or something like that, this is perfect for them because you can just mount this up, set it where it is, they turn it on wherever it feels right. They don't really care about specs and percentages like that. They just want to make sure that they look good. This will be perfect for a gamer or somebody like that who does these type of streaming. Your average person that wants to do live streaming on Facebook or something like that, if they're trying to do some sort of informational broadcast or something like that, and they just need a light, they don't need to spend $1,000 on a light, they can buy this one for 120 bucks and it'll be a perfect thing. They can buy a nice little soft box and boom, you have some sort of what looks like a professional light on you, even though it's only a $120 light. But for the hardcore filmmaker and professionals, I do not recommend this. This definitely is a common use light for beginners or for just normal, I don't need to know about all this streamers. The last thing that I really didn't like is that it did not come with a stand. Now there are a lot of lights that don't come with stands, I get it. But if you went to, let's say, Newer or Young Newell or Dracast, at this price point, when you buy a light, it normally comes with a stand. That is one thing that you probably could do to kind of spruce it up. It comes with color gels, it comes with a reflector dish, no diffuser, and it comes with a protective cover for this. And that's pretty much it. That's all it comes with. Again, it's for a beginner or for a person who really just doesn't care about the specs and is really on a budget. So that's who this light is for. That is my review. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you like what you've been seeing on the channel, don't forget to please subscribe, all right? It really helps us. If you like it, give us a like. If you disagree with me, please tell me in the comments why you disagree with me. I wanna get an understanding. Also, for you light junkies out there that wanna come on the comments and say, well, you didn't talk about the color accuracy or give specific numbers, I'm not gearing these reviews towards you guys, all right? You have Caleb Pike and Potato Jet and all those other guys that get into the super duper specs of a light. Tilder, shout out to you, bro. I learned a whole lot from you. Go to him and let him tell you about the color accuracy and all that other stuff of the lights. I'm talking to the people who they're getting started, who they're, just getting to the point where I need to start gearing up my kit or building up my kit. Those are the ones that I'm talking to. And at this point, a lot of them, they really don't have the money to get the stuff that requires those specifics. So if you're getting $120 lights or $200 lights, chances are you just need to upgrade your kit, and those are the guys that I'm talking to. Once again, I'd like to thank GVM for giving us this light to test out and try out, and we're almost at our 2,000 subscriber mark. So if you guys want to win this light right here, because I am going to give it away, I need you to do two things, all right? I need you to subscribe, ring the notification bell, comment, and I need you to share it. Once we hit the 2,000 subscriber mark, we are going to do a random draw, and that lucky person is going to have this light sent to them. Just make sure that we can get in touch with you by your YouTube account so that we can get in touch with you and tell you you're the lucky winner. And we will announce the winner once we hit that 2,000 subscriber mark, all right? So guys, my name is Dre, AKA Crazy One, and we are out of here. The pandemic is almost over. Go out there, start shooting as much as you can, and just be creative. Go out there and start filming. Thanks.